Mr. Pat, for me, I know you've been interviewed on this thing before, okay? And I've got the transcripts of those interviews and things that were said. Now I've got to redo those interviews so I can get them to close this case.
This is 72-year-old Merle Mackey, currently being interrogated by detectives at the Hernando County Sheriff's Office regarding the disappearance of his wife, Evelyn Laverne Mackey, in 1981. To comprehend how we arrived at this point and why he's being interrogated for a missing persons case that occurred over 3 decades ago, we need to delve into how it all started. The story unfolds in Hernando County, Florida. Evelyn Laverne, divorced from her Navy SEAL husband Larry Wallace, had to raise her 2 children, 11-year-old Kelly Carpenter and 19-year-old Charles Trulock, on her own. In the late 70s, she met Merle Mackey at a prison outreach ministry for nonviolent offenders at her local church. Despite Merle's sporadic prison visits at the time, they quickly developed a strong relationship, leading to marriage. Initially, they appeared to be a happy couple, with everything going smoothly. However, Evelyn's teenage daughter last saw her on the morning of November 5, 1981. She made breakfast for her daughter and Merle took her to school. Later that day, Merle claimed he picked up Evelyn's daughter alone, stating that Evelyn had gone to Ohio to care for her sick sister-in-law. However, her sister-in-law wasn't expecting a visit from her. Concern grew as Evelyn didn't arrive in Ohio, prompting Kelly to repeatedly inquire about her mother's whereabouts. Merle's stories to the police varied, suggesting Evelyn had gone to Tampa, Florida, returned home, and left with a boyfriend, which contradicted earlier statements and seemed out of character for Evelyn. Merle continued to fabricate stories, claiming Evelyn had become a missionary or left the country to start a new life. Detectives concluded that Merle was a compulsive liar, habitually altering his narrative during interviews. Evelyn vanished on November 5th, with no trace of her whereabouts. Her family reported her missing in January 1982. Investigators discovered that money was withdrawn from her bank account multiple times on the day she went missing, leaving the account empty months later. The case went cold until Sergeant Phil Lankin reignited the inquiry 33 years later. Tracking down Merle in Chandler, Texas, investigators concocted a story about a plane crash in South America, claiming they might have found Evelyn's remains. Merle agreed to revisit his statement regarding her disappearance in hopes of collecting compensation from the airline. Upon returning to the station, investigators requested authentication of his previous interview transcripts.
Do you remember the day she left? No. I'm trying to think what was going on. All right, work with me here, buddy.
In this scene, the detective's frustration is evident, but he quickly masks it with a laugh, making it seem like a joke. Maintaining a lighthearted atmosphere is crucial to prevent Merle from feeling threatened or cornered, which could hinder the chance of obtaining a confession. Establishing a friendly and relaxed environment facilitates open conversation during the interrogation.
Do you remember her ever saying something about her brother's wife being sick? I don't recall that at all. And we'll go from there. I remember what I ate for supper yesterday. The day she came up missing, were you at work or what? I don't have any clue. When she left, do you remember going to the bank and getting money out of the bank? The bank remembers you going to the bank and getting money out of the bank. I don't know how much I got. I could tell you, but I'm not going to. I'm going to validate these interviews, and you're making it hard on me. I thought we'd be in and out of here in about 45 minutes. Well, this is going a little further.
At this juncture, the situation is delicate, as the detective lacks the legal authority to detain Merle. Pushing too hard could prompt Merle to walk out. The detective aims to strike a delicate balance, continuing to gather information without risking Merle's departure from the room.
This is an interview that you had here. You said, well, she already had the suitcase packed and all that stuff. She's going to take it with her. Do you remember why she told you she needed to go again?
Her brother's wife was sick. I don't remember what she was sick from. Had she ever gone up to take care of her brother or his wives or anything before? I don't think so. Was that the first time? Yeah. She said she was going to be gone for a couple of weeks, and if she'd gone a little bit longer, I just figured something needs a little more time.
3 times.
That memory's a lot better than you remember. Something that I discovered was that she had been going with some guy that she worked with at the driver's license office.
He said, I saw her. So I said, okay. He said, I saw her about a week after that phone call, second phone call. She had a green Cutlass.
I wanted to go through your interviews because I wanted you to realize what you said back then. And did I kind of play a trick on you about she's been found before? Yes, I did. Okay? I apologize. But I didn't know any other way I could get you to walk through this story. Back on November the 5th, 1981, okay? Unfortunately, I think that it's something you've been hiding all of this time.
Notice the shift in Merle's demeanor. He has transitioned from a relaxed and confident stance throughout the interview to displaying slight anxiety and increased attentiveness as the detective delves into sensitive topics.
And quite frankly, this is coming back to haunt you.
Be a lie in order to get me there.
Well, you know what?
I haven't confessed.
Our case went to cold case, which is us, and it's been put together. And it's coming. It's coming. And what is coming? You're fixing to be charged with this.
Charged with what?
The death of Laverne Mack.
In 1981, there was a statute of limitations for second-degree murder that had already expired. Detectives required a confession to charge Merle with premeditated first-degree murder, or else he would be free to go home.
There are enough contradictions in your story. Back then, you told so many different versions of what happened to her. One minute you say that she left and flew up to her brother's. No, she went and she ran off with another man. And then you told them that you went out to Key West and y'all were getting married again. And then there's you going draining her money out of the bank. Yes, you did that. But your whole life has been a con. This is a con. You are the ultimate con man, and you work 3 different women in that church. What we did was chase down everybody because we wanted to go back and prove every single lie that you made.
We talked 15, 16, 17 people involved and around Laverne's life. We've gone through everything. My granny's telling you it's for real.
At this juncture, Merle senses he's trapped and opts to alter his approach.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
Who says she's dead?
We know she.
How do you know she's dead? How do you determine that Laverne is dead?
I'm trying to get in here and reach this man that's in here. You can say whatever you want, but give that body back to her daughter so that she can flip and marry her. Please. Please.
Tell me what we're at. Where are we at right now?
Merle, I'm
Are you
asking
just waiting for a confession?
I can care less about the confession because I don't need it.
This statement by the detective was a deliberate deception, but it was deemed necessary to create a sense of apprehension in Merle, making him believe that he's already under suspicion. However, the truth is that the detectives can only press charges against Merle if they obtain a confession. As a result, Merle continues to remain unaccountable and unrestricted.
What do you want?
I want a body.
Bottom line, I want to know where she's at.
When this story finally gets told, you are going to look like such a flippin' animal, such a flippin' lowlife. Give me the damn body. Because without the body, it looks like a first-degree murder in every way, shape, form, and fashion. It's the absolute truth. And then you have to cover up to it afterwards. Does it look like a first-degree murder? Absolutely. Will it work out best for you to tell me where that body is? Absolutely.
You're walking.
I am not convinced that. Okay.
You're walking out
that front door. Okay.
3 minutes today.
I
can get up and leave at any time.
Can I get up right now and leave? Yeah.
Sure.
Merle stands on the brink of departure, and the detective swiftly devises a final plan. The objective is to minimize the gravity of the incident, persuading Merle that what occurred was unintentional and merely an accident. Presenting it as an accident is a more manageable confession for Merle compared to being perceived as a cold-blooded killer. However, even with this approach, it would not result in a first-degree murder conviction. At this point, it becomes their sole remaining option.
I can tell you this, if she injured herself by accident, or if she did something like that, and you've been worried about all of this time, and you've just been afraid, out of fear, to come forth, Merle, can we prove there's a crime? I don't know.
I can only tell you, I can sit here and look at you dead on. I'm reading you. I see that you want to talk. Tell us where she is. I know you know. I can tell by looking at you. Did I tell you I like to go fishing? Yes, it did. Okay. I went fishing at English. She fell at the dock
hit her head, fell in the water. I have been back there 100 times, raving about that deal, that I didn't jump in the water to save her. I've been living with this for 32 years. I was scared they think that I killed her.
After nearly 33 years, Merle McKay has finally acknowledged that his wife was, in fact, deceased, and he was present at the location. However, the detectives remain skeptical of this account of events.
Why didn't you call for help and say, hey, her head was bleeding pretty bad. She was not breathing. The body in the water, especially that one, it doesn't go away. I put some weight on her to make her water down. When I roped that rope around that woman and watched her sink, it's never gone away. It was an accident. You telling me the truth right now? I'm telling you, this is straight business. Marilyn, you're picking her up. I just took her clothes. You pulling her and you're taking her up out of the water? Did you lift her back up on to the doctor? No, because she was, blood was just sparking out. Just sparking out.
At this exact moment, Merle Mackey unintentionally revealed his involvement in a premeditated murder. The use of the word spurting implies that Evelyn was bleeding, indicating that she was still alive when Merle made the decision to bind her and dispose of her in the water.
I held her with one hand, I took the anchor, I put it on her, and I wrapped it around her with the rope, and I turned her loose and shoved her underneath the dock.
Tell us where we can find her so we can give her body back to her kid.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I will drive to Florida, and I'll go with you to that house. And I will call you as soon as I get there.
You can go there with us. You can drive the front seat. We can go there.
I don't want to do that. I'm done. You want to argue? I don't want to argue. I said I will be in Florida, and I will show you the doctor. That's it. I'm done.
Even though Merle admitted to the murder of his wife, the detectives lacked jurisdiction and authority to make an arrest. Consequently, they referred the case to Assistant Attorney Brian Kramer of Florida's 8th Judicial Circuit. Through a grand jury indictment, Merle was charged with first-degree murder. Detectives conducted a search of the docks where Merle claimed to have disposed of Laverne's body, but they concluded that locating her remains would be unlikely. They doubted the accuracy of Merle's statements regarding the body's whereabouts. Eventually, Merle pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and received a 10-year prison sentence.